Welcome to Jack's Gay Chats. I mentioned on the previous video about my first sexual experience, but there's kind of a lot more to it than that. I was raised by a mother who was afraid of sex, who was afraid of people, and certainly the biggest mother hen anybody ever had. I had zero freedom. When I became a young man and owned my own house, I was able to experience wonderful sexual experiences. I remember, as I said, using ads to meet people, and I like the idea of scenarios. And so in these ads, I would set up something where I would meet somebody at my place, so I knew it was a safe place, and we would do things such as play doctor. We would do things as play drunk. We would do things in the car, and some of these things got really detailed, and they just snowballed into whatever they became because I didn't really want to control it. I remember one guy contacting me and saying he had a fantasy about playing doctor. He wanted me to be the patient and he was going to be the doctor. So he came over and I felt very comfortable with this guy. He was an older man, probably 60 years old, and very kind. And he just had this fantasy. He wanted to work out and I was happy with that. So he put me in my bed, and I was supposed to be very sick, and I couldn't move too well. And he was taking my temperature rectally. He was undressing me. He was using pretend injections, and he used Tic Tacs as certain medication that he would give me. And he would take my blood pressure. He had a little blood pressure machine. And he was just, he was in his own little heaven. He was enjoying it so much. And I enjoyed it because he enjoyed it. I mean, that particular scenario didn't mean that much to me, but the fact that he was just doing exactly what he wanted to do, nobody was rejecting him. He just loved touching me and checking me out and checking my reflexes with his little hammer and telling me to go to bed early. And I remember he said, now remember, don't ever sleep with clothes on. You have to be naked all the time. I like that. I think most of the people that I only saw once. And that was okay with me. So there were other letters and other scenarios. I remember this one Latino man, I'll call him Garcia. And he wrote me a letter talking about his fantasy. And he sent his picture and his phone number, and I called him back. And he says, Jack, there's just something I really want to do. I've thought about this for years, and I'd just like to do it with you. And I said, what's that? I want to come into your house and have sex with you, but I want you to be asleep. I said, well, okay. I said, but I go to bed early. He says, no, this has to be like about 1 a.m. I said, I don't stay up that late. I go to bed early. He says, that's the whole idea. You're going to be asleep. And I said, well, how am I going to let you in? He says, leave the door unlocked. That was cool. Okay. So I don't know what it is, and I would not recommend to other people that you be that forward or maybe that daring, but I just enjoyed it so much, and I read people very well. I could tell what people were all about. So on a certain night, I went to bed, and he told me what to wear. He wanted me to wear, underwear and pajamas and socks and all this stuff. Said, okay. So, and then he says, okay, now, when I come into your house, where is your bedroom? I said, when you come in the house, go down the right hallway. It's the first bedroom on the left. Great. And I said, okay, now what do you want me to do? You don't get to do anything. This is me. I get to do this. This is my fantasy. You just go to sleep. So I went to bed. I left the door unlocked and I went to bed. And I went to sleep. I was really zonked out. So part of what I'm going to tell you is what he told me afterwards. But he came in and he tiptoed. And there was a little dim light I left on for him. And he saw me in bed, and he pulled the covers down, and he proceeded to take off my pajama tops. And then he tried to undo my pajama bottoms, and he was so afraid I was going to wake up. I don't know if he thought I was pretending to be asleep, but I was asleep. And so he pulls my clothes off, and then he pulls my socks off, and then I'm uncovered laying on the bed just in my little tidy whities. And so finally he said that he played with my body and everything, and he said that he noticed I was getting an erection in my sleep. But I think by now he knew I was really sleeping. So that was carte blanche. He could do whatever he wanted to do. And then he said that he pulled my underwear off, and there I was naked. And he says, I have a feast. He told me that after I woke up. I have a feast in front of me. And he was touching me, playing me, licking with me. He gave me oral sex, and it was sort of a long, elaborate procedure of what we call tongue bathing, which means sort of head to toe. And at some point, I woke up while I was climaxing. And I said, what? I forgot that this was all planned out. But, I saw him for the first time. And, what a mess. What can I say? And it was a very nice experience. And then we talked a little bit. And it was sometime around 2:30 or 3 in the morning when I woke up, and he was there. He says, "Oh, Jack, I thank you so much. I thank you so much. But I have to get back home now. But this was so important to me." And it's again, I didn't actually experience it because I was sleeping, but he told me everything. And he took some pictures that he showed me, and I believe it all. It was really a very nice experience for me, which I didn't know about, but especially for him. So Garcia was like number one in my book. And again, we didn't meet a second time, but I would have. I don't know what he would have come up with next, but he was very creative. There's something about talking to somebody and figuring out their little secret, and that I have the power to give somebody some special gift that nobody else can give them. If they wanted to have sex in a car, okay. If they wanted to, go to some place in a park or, some field or something, okay. I was very trusting, but I also knew the people. Like, I would never connect with somebody who had any kind of negative habits, or what I perceived as negative habits. If they used drugs or even pot, if they drank, if they had to, I just wouldn't connect with them. They had to be someone that I related to and somebody I felt safe with. And with Garcia, I felt both. Thank you for watching.